It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome to rAVe TV. It's the industry's only completely Pro AV. Well, not completely Pro AV. We cover
live,
AV too.
definitely.
But the only live AV industry show that happens every week. That's me and that's Gary. And we come here and we talk about the latest headlines, things coming up, things you should know about in our industry. And we've been doing this for like 3 years now. So welcome to the show. If this is your first time watching.
Yeah. If you a long-time watcher, you notice that we are coming to you live at 9 a.m. and then we're again restreaming at noon. So you could be watching this at 9 a.m. You could be watching this at noon, but we want to welcome our European fans and customers and readers to the show. We shifted the time to accommodate the EMEA, and I think that's worked out really well. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the big event coming up in our entire industry annually is Infocomm. And Infocomm, Vegas is not an expensive place to fly to. It's there's a lot of availability globally. Vegas has flights. Just about every country you can fly directly into Las Vegas. Now it's an international airport. You should go ahead and book your flights to Infocomm. We have a code that you can actually use. If you just go to infocommshow.org and you want to register for the show, you can get in free by using our code rAVe, R-A-V-E. And if you use that code, that gives you access to the show floor, but also gives you a free t-shirt. We're bringing back our famous rAVe t-shirts. This year's shirt I'm really excited about. It took a while to come up with something that we all agreed on, but it's all based on Steph's concept of what the duck. I think you'll really find it fun and exciting. And come by the booth. Our booth, we'll give you more information when we get closer to the show. It's literally right outside the entrance of the West Hall. So if you're in the big brand new West Hall, which a lot of people probably start the show day in that lobby, right in the lobby where we're going to be right there, and we'll be giving away t-shirts. All you got to do is stop by and say hello. And I'm excited about the show. Steph, are you excited about going back to Vegas? I know Vegas is one of those love-hate relationship things with you.
Yeah, I like Orlando better. I was talking to some of our reporters that we're bringing to the show the other day, and they were like, "Is it really that dry of heat?" And I said, "Yes, it is."
It's like terrible. You could go out for a run and not hardly sweat, and the moment you get in the hotel, then you start sweating. It's really weird because the humidity of the air conditioning system in the hotel sort of releases the sweat.
Yeah. And really you feel your sweat evaporate off you the minute you walk outside. And I just don't love that feeling.
Yeah, it is kind of a weird vibe, but I'm excited for the show. I'm excited for all the events. We're going to do an exhaustive, detailed look at Infocomm this year because we're going to be the ones that help you plan your day. And I'll tell you why. There's a tremendous amount of construction going on. And the halls, you can't walk between the halls inside. You have to walk outside and you have to walk through some construction. And what we're going to do is we're going to diagram it for you. We're going to help. We're going to have someone from Avixon that's going to help you explain how to walk from one hall to the other and the best way to get from one place to the other. My recommendation, based on what I know of the show, is to pick a day to do West Hall and pick a day to do Central Hall. Now you can go between the two. It's very hot in June. So you have to plan accordingly to walk between the two. But if you do it early in the morning or you do it late in the afternoon, maybe, or plan, just know that you're going to do it and don't try to rush because that rush is what gets you because you think, oh, I'm not sweating because it's dry, right? And then you get inside and all of a sudden you start sweating when you're ready to meet with a customer. Yeah. So you got to plan accordingly. But I would recommend trying to book all your West Hall appointments one day and all your Central Hall appointments the other day, and then choose which hall to go back to on Friday. I think because of all the construction stuff, I think Friday could be a bigger day for the show.
Yeah, I think so too, because I think we're just so used to easily getting from one to the other. So we could get to Friday and we could be like, oh, I haven't even seen half of what I wanted to see.
Exactly. That's what
so you go back and Friday could be the day that you just kind of maybe spend half day on one hall and half day in the other. So like Gary said, we're working on a very exhaustive guide to help you understand like what's going to be the easiest and best method.
I think you should I think we should like have a graphic, show the walkway, and then let's print an article on that and let's cover it that way. So I think it'd be a good thing to do. In fact, speaking of Steph covering things, Steph went to the rAVe conference last month. You did a really good article on that was published earlier this week you did a great job because you embedded all the videos you shot. Tell us what rAVe is, what this conference was about, and about the videos and stuff.
So this is an organization that's all about creating and sustaining sustainability within the AV industry. So as we know, like, we're as a planet, we are not taking the best care of Earth, but AV actually is a lot to blame because of e-waste. There are just mountains and mountains of e-waste that just exist all over the world. And so a lot of what rAVe is doing is helping to figure out how to like sustainably get rid of that e-waste and to help you not have to throw away your technology as soon. So one of their programs is called Save a Second Life, and they partner with a lot of different nonprofits, charities that maybe need your old cameras, need your old speakers, things that still work, but just you needed to update your conference room for your client. But you don't necessarily need to throw that old stuff away. There are, organizations that don't have the money to replace things as frequently as we do in our industry, and
basically donate it down, right? Donate it across.
So these things can still get used, and they're not ending up just in a landfill somewhere. So I learned a lot about that program. I learned a lot about how ways in which we can help hit the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals that the UN has set forth. That's a lot of what rAVe is doing. But yeah, I learned a ton. And I even brought a video, so I'm going to show a little bit of that. It's a little bit on what Crestron is doing, and they have actually since partnered with rAVe, become a big partner in what they are doing for their company. So
so this is Mike Rogers from Crestron explaining what they're doing there.
Here with Mike Rogers of Crestron. So first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. Hi, Steph. Nice to meet you, and it's been a lot of fun to meet everybody in the AV industry and talk about sustainability. That's what I'm all about. I love sustainability. My name is Mike Rogers. I'm from Crestron. Been with the company about 12 years now, and I moved into a new role, and sustainability is a key focus for our company right now. We're going 100%. And we need to do everything all at once, everywhere, right? And that's what an organization like this does. That it helps us get together as an industry and figure out how to accomplish all those complex goals. So we talk about goals, we talk about sustainability. You got to look at the United Nations, and I'm so glad that rAVe is kind of rallying around that cause on a global level and talk about the Sustainable Development Goals. So that's what I do at Crestron. I'm trying to integrate the idea of sustainability into our business, and so far so good, and there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the initiatives you guys are pushing forward so far. We talked a little bit about that in our small groups today,
right.
But tell me a little bit about what Crestron is already doing.
Well, Crestron is looking at it from a holistic view. How can we contribute as our company? What's material to us? So of course we need to do a materiality assessment. We plan on doing that this year to identify the topics that we can contribute, and everybody's going to get involved. We're going to have internal stakeholders, external stakeholders to kind of really analyze that.
Okay. Hi, we're back. So I learned a lot at that conference, as you can see. And like Gary said, I wrote a full article that embedded a lot of the videos, interviews that I took with people. So you can read that whole article at ravepubs.com. So let's get into some news. We've got some.
Well, first
news.
we got a message from one of our sponsors, Sure. And you may remember this company called STEM Audio. They bought STEM Audio, which is an all-in-one audio ecosystem specifically for conference rooms. Check this out because it's available from Shure, and they'll have it at Infocomm.
Didn't STEM Audio used to be owned by a guy named Ryan Root?
I think it did. Yes,
I think about him sometimes.
Yeah.
Hope he's doing well. I
Yeah.
don't know if he's still in our industry or not.
Sure, I don't know. He might be
But
sure.
Ryan, if you're
I
watching
don't think he
this,
owned it, but I think he was like the marketing guy.
yeah,
He's
but
like really tall.
yeah,
Yeah.
just a really tall blonde guy. He was one of the first people in AV who like followed me on Twitter.
Okay.
So Ryan Root, if you're watching this, hope you're doing well. So let's get into some product news. So Lightwear, I don't know, you guys might know the Lightwear Taurus brand. So its switchers can now be used to add a BYOD option within Microsoft Teams rooms. So BYOD, obviously bring your own device into a meeting. That functionality is getting, I think, even more popular than it used to be, which is kind of hard to believe. But basically, this solution helps the Teams room experience. It allows them to integrate your personal laptop within the room's meeting system. And it kind of extends connectivity options. It allows multiple source inputs. It has extra USB support. So this just helps you use your own device within the meeting, but exclusively for Microsoft Teams, and it's like certified for Microsoft Teams, I want to say. But yeah, so if you want to read out a little bit more about how that works, you can go to ravepubs.com.
The cool thing about that, Steph, is that if you have a Teams room, you can still make a Zoom call on it. That's the big thing.
That is cool.
All right. So I actually last month was in Lausanne, Switzerland, and I got a chance to tour the smartest smart building in Switzerland. Actually, it's this little piece is not going to do it justice, but I'm going to give you let me give you some concepts, because what I did was I did a complete tour of the building, video tour. It's about 25 minutes long. It is definitely worth watching because Spinetics, a digital signage company, is driving all the content to everywhere in that building. That even includes a 500 or 600 seat movie theater. There's a digital cinema movie theater and a live production theater, a conference center with 12 meeting rooms and boardrooms, a ballroom that has 6 different sections to it that is outfitted with projection, cool. Retail stores that include retail signage, a fitness center that includes signage, dining areas that include signage that is AI based. So when they fix a menu, it changes the content on the menu. The whole thing, in addition to all the welcome signage and even the parking spaces, the lights on the parking spaces, whether they're green or red, telling whether a car is there, is all driven by Aria, which is the signage system. So I'm going to show you a little, maybe a 1-minute clip of this, and I'm hoping that you'll all go watch it. That story is on ravepubs.com right now. It is definitely worth watching because this is the future of what we can do as an industry.
And this is really where we can organize live events, concerts, education, and makes the corporate application moving towards the hospitality and live events and education type of digital signage application.
And you even have, when the Geneva Auto Show is here, you did a Land Rover launch here where they drove the car on stage. And the stage can actually go up and down. In fact, the LED, this is using 3 outputs of your 4 output digital signage, but your new one. So it's 3 times 4K resolution. The LED can actually go up and down as well. This is a fully functional entertainment venue. We're actually going to see a show in here later tonight as well, but this seats 500 people. As you can see, leather seating. No expense spared on the quality of this. As you said, a Meyer Sound Dolby Atmos certified theater. The building in the town, the country must be proud of this.
Well, absolutely. As we say, this is a unique building. Now, what is also unique is the use of digital signage in an environment like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because normally, these type of scenes are used, of course, to organize events, or to broadcast what cameramen are taking. But here we want to propose how digital signage can welcome people, can instruct them on what's going on after, like a break. You need to tell people, hey, go out, take your drink, come back at that time. And at the end, again, you can give them a message for security, for improving the flow, for improving at the end the experience and simplifying the experience of the people that are coming here.
Steph, that's just one of the rooms. I mean, we went
Yeah.
through each room, each area. There's about 9 different places we went, and we explained how the signage is working, how it's driving the entire building. Let me tell you how smart this building is. The windows, the opaqueness of the windows changes, not just the solid window, but this is the whole building from top to bottom or bottom to top, depending on if the sun is going down or the sun is going up. So the windows shift to block the sun to keep the building inside cooler, or in the wintertime, heat the building by removing the opaqueness of the windows. And if you're working at your desk, it knows you're working at your desk and it will make it more opaque. So it's pretty cool. Like every single window is individually addressable, and the entire thing is managed through Aria, a digital signage platform from Spinetics. It's definitely worth reading the article to explain how they did it, and then watching that full video. I hope you'll check that out. And speaking of videos, I know we got a message from rAVe about their AmpliWave system, which is aimed at education. So you should check out this, because rAVe is making a concerted effort to get into education. It's going to be a big part, I think, Steph, of what they talk about at Infocomm.
So Epson just signed a deal with Cirque du Soleil, which, is very Vegas. We're about to go to Infocomm. And so Epson is now Cirque du Soleil's official projector partner, which you might know if you've been to a Cirque show. They do a lot of like multimedia. There's people dancing, people are jumping, there's trampolines, there's a light show. So projection is actually a pretty big part of a lot of these different shows. And so now that Epson is a part of this, they're going to work really closely with Cirque to, include their 3-chip, 3 LCD laser projectors, and kind of put those and help to integrate that with all of the shows like Creative Vision when they like come up with new things. So I think that's going to be really cool. I wonder if they will have changed anything by the time we get to Infocomm. I kind of think no.
I don't think so, because mostly they use Epson already. I think this is like solidifying. It's sort of like the Olympics have like their official partners. I think this is similar to that. Yeah. It's a great way for Epson to showcase their stuff. And speaking of display companies, Sony has partnered with a company in Germany called Ameria, and Ameria actually creates touch systems that are gesture based. So you don't actually have to touch them. You just have to act like you're touching them and decide where, and it'll watch what you're doing to determine what it is what you're trying to accomplish. So it's a smart gesture based system. And so what can be done is you can use this with Sony's Bravia displays and turn them into touch displays that you don't actually have to touch, or even the crystal LED stuff. Now, why does this matter? Because example, healthcare, germs. Touching things creates germs. If we can make it gesture-based and not have to touch it, we eliminate that possibility, right? So that's a good application for it. And, when you're in public spaces, let's be honest, Steph, I used to love buffets. I still love buffets, but I'm obsessed with washing my hands both before I go in a buffet and after I go to a buffet, before I start eating my food. I'll literally go to the table, put my food down, and go wash my hands. So anything I can do as a germaphobe to not touch anything is I'm a fan of. But this company, Ameria and Sony, have partnered together. The story's there on our website. And I think it opens up some new avenues and some new opportunities for us to do some creative things in our industry. And I always love creative things like that.
Yeah, agreed. I hate buffets, but I support you and your love for them. So we have one more message from one of our sponsors, Legrand AV. So this is a little video on their top 10 products. So check this out.
Okay, we published a story late last week on the Brad Sousa Impact Fund and the fact they've raised over $110,000 already, but the fundraising has not ended. It's going to be a big deal at Infocomm because this will be the first Infocomm that Brad Sousa has not been in attendance since he passed away last year, and everyone will be talking about it. The esports venue was his vision, along with Rochelle's over at Avixa. So I know a lot of people will be talking about Brad Sousa there, but you can contribute to that fund by checking out the article on our website at ravepubs.com. And there's a link directly to donate to the fund. So let's keep it going. Let's amp it up and let's make sure they make their goals.
Yeah, that's awesome. $110,000 is not, no money. So
About
that's
a month and a half,
incredible.
so that's not bad.
That's incredible. So another piece of product news. So Carousel Digital Signage, they launched something called Carousel Daily. This basically is a media delivery service that they think is going to change the way you engage with your audience. Carousel Daily allows organizational leaders to take messages that are directed to intended audiences and send them like via push notification to your mobile device. So this
iPhones,
kind of
iPads,
just,
things like that,
yeah, it's just kind of like extending the reach of traditional digital signage content and like beyond like the four walls in which you are standing when you read it. So I do think that has potential to do really, really well within the industry. So check it out. The full story is on ravepubs.com.
And a company called ProLights in our industry, which is at prolights.com, introduced the EtherBox Lite, but they spell it Lite. It's a single universal wireless CRMX transceiver. So it's bidirectional, works with the CRMX wireless system. It's, look, with DMX lighting and live events and now that moving into permanent install kind of applications, ProLights is one of those companies that you've got to check out and make sure you're supporting. And they'll be at Infocomm as well. Yet another reason to go to Infocomm, Steph.
Very cool. So another piece of product news, AV Pro Edge introduced something called the ACEX USB 3 kit. This accommodates up to 4 USB devices via USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A female port. So it uses this technology to transport any combination of up to 4 USB 3 signals across distances as big as 100 meters, which is pretty big.
That's a big deal. So this drives the cost of USB distribution way down. And you remember I covered this at ISE. We got a behind the scenes demo from HD Base T and how they're actually doing this. So this is one of those first products that's coming out of that. And I think this changes everything because connecting one camera in a room has always been pretty easy. Connecting the second, it's usually further away, especially in an auditorium. It's really far away. That became thousands of dollars to connect it. And then our computers run out of USB ports. So it's a hub and it gives you the ability to connect long distances. So I think we're going to see more of these products between now and Infocomm. And finally, from our news section, we have one more section to talk about today about events we have coming up. But before we talk about those events, I want to remind you that voting is now open. All the nominations are in. You, the ones who nominated all the different companies in the different 30 plus categories that we have for the Reader's Choice Awards. Now it's time for you to vote on the top. So we published the top 4 or 5 companies in each category that got votes, top 4 or 5 products, top 4 or 5 people even, because we have, who's the person of the year. And all of those are compiled in one place. You can go vote, and you can vote in every category or just one category if you want. You choose how much voting you want to do. Steph's done a great job of breaking it up into different categories. And if you go to our website now, if we haven't pinned that story, Steph, we should definitely pin it or something, make sure it's at the top. It is good. Excellent. So that if you go to our website, just click on that and go vote. We need those votes. We'll announce the winners right before Infocomm so that the people at Infocomm can hype up the fact that they won, because it's you who are voting on it, our readers. So definitely go and check out our Reader's Choice Awards. I don't know how many years we've been doing this, but I think like 12 or 13.
I think this is the 14th.
14th. Okay.
Yeah. Which
it's
is
a big deal, and we're
Mm-hmm.
excited about it. And we're glad to bring it. And
I think 1,000 and something people have voted already, like 1,020 or something. So
cool.
keep those votes in, everybody. All right, so let's talk about some upcoming virtual events. We actually have one today at 1 p.m. Eastern. This is one that you're hosting, Gary. This is Elevating AV Integration, Embracing Advanced Discussion Microphones in Diverse Environments. So this is all about, this is kind of sponsored by a company called Televic, and this is kind of all about how this is those big conference rooms that are used in government at every level, where you have a mic at each seat at one of those really big tables, and how your mic cannot interfere with the person next to you. But also, they sometimes have speakers. Doing this technologically is very complicated. So I'm glad that Gary is going to be talking with Televic today. It's going to be really interesting and cool. And it's approved for one CTS regular, CTSI, or CTSD RU. So if you need one of those, go ahead and join. Scan the QR code if you want to register at launch.com.
Excellent. I'm excited to be doing that in just a few hours. And I think a lot of people don't think about putting mics everywhere as an alternative solution when you really need to have that person heard and recorded properly. So for conference applications and even classroom applications, I'm seeing more of that being used in those applications. So we're going to talk about that. And then we have the rAVe. We have our first ever hospitality symposium. And by the way, the session that I'm doing is worth one CTS today,
Yes.
but the hospitality symposium, I believe, is worth 2.5
2.5.
Yeah,
correct. And that's on May 15th at 1 p.m. Eastern. So rAVe's Hospitality Symposium, this is a special set of sessions that are geared all toward hospitality within the pro AV industry. A few of our sessions that we have dreamed up so far are going beyond the guest room, because that is like, the first place you think of, but that is not the only place in a hotel that needs technology. Hospitality content 101, can't do really anything if you don't have good content. Leveraging technology for a seamless hotel lobby experience, which is important. You have to wow people in your lobby now. And then more than a ballroom, creating an ultimate event space, because it's a ballroom usually in these hotels, but you use it for like a million different things. How do you do that? So if you would like to join, once again, Gary said it's worth 2.5 CTSRUs, and you can go ahead and register at lavnch.com. You can scan the QR code at the bottom left of this screen, and that can take you to where to register.
And later this year, we have Launch Week 10, which is worth like 10 CTS RUs. So it's time for you to go ahead and pre-register for that. And that's going to be October 21st to the 24th. It may seem like it's a long way away, but we go ahead and start the registration process so you can keep you informed. But also, you can help us pick some of the topics and speakers and things like that by giving us feedback on what you want to hear. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. But we're going to have a UCC day, a home AV day, a pro AV day, and an ed tech day. And I think Launch Week has kind of become a thing, and we're really excited to keep it going. And it's our 10th Launch Week. Will be at the end of this year, so definitely sign up and join us. And look, we're finished. We're done, Steph, and we're 2 minutes early. So should we just sit here for 2 minutes?
Yeah, we can just sit here in silence and just stare at everyone.
Talk about like movies. Have you seen any good movies?
I did actually see a movie last night. I saw Abigail. have you seen
you love those daggone scary weird movies.
I do love a scary weird movie, and I actually loved it. Like, it is very gory, it's very crazy, and like my friend that I went to see it with was like screaming in horror next to me, and then I was just like laughing. I was like, this is so much fun. But yeah, I would just like to say vampire cinema is so back. I am so happy. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't scary. It was like
I don't think I'll see that movie. I just don't.
Yeah, you wouldn't like it.
Exactly. I don't think I'd see it. I saw Civil War recently. I thought that was really good. It wasn't what I expected it to be. What it's a movie about is about it's about war photographers and videographers and the dilemma that they face when, for example, they could save someone's life. Do they take pictures of the person dying, or do they try to save the life? And journalists are trained to just hands off. If don't touch anyone. And that's what they do. It's kind of interesting. And you're like, what? Why would they not try to save the person? But apparently that is what they're trained to do. So it talks about that sort of moral dilemma of like, what do you do? Do you step in and try to help when you know that you can help? And so I thought it was kind of interesting, and it kind of followed it. The concept was weird because it was as if we had a civil war here in America, but they still, you can imagine these issues being addressed even today all around the world where there's things going on. There are reporters there. So.
Kirsten Dunst, right? And that.
Yeah, she does a really good job in it. And she's a great. She'll probably get nominated for an Academy Award for this role because it must have been tough to play that role because they put her in a lot of situations where she saw some crazy stuff and she had to make a decision. And in each case, she decided to stay away. So just take the pictures. So in any case, it's a thought-provoking movie. You leave thinking, what would you do?
Okay.
You know? So check it out. I think you'd enjoy it, Steph, because you have a master's degree in journalism. You are a journalist. So you probably would really find this very interesting. And I guess you'd be questioning yourself of what you would do too. So
I disagree with a lot of like we have to stay out of this story. I think like when someone's safety is involved, that's when you become like you're part of it if you did nothing also, you know? So like, even if you're like,
and then let's talk about it. Cause I'm curious.
Okay.
They give specific scenarios and which scenarios you would do. So, but look, thanks for joining us for rAVe TV, the industry's only live TV show that comes to you weekly with Steph, Beckett, and Gary Kayye. And we will be doing this live every day during Infocomm on the show floor. If you see us, even if we're reporting live, just wave at us, poke us, whatever, just say hello. We love seeing people who watch us on TV and stuff and stream.
Exactly.
So anyway, thanks for joining us today, everyone. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.